All right, so the first video, we are talking about going up the major scale through the 2.5 octaves. And there's some things that kind of glossed over in that one. Let's get a little bit more in depth with it. And that's kind of the basic idea on how to efficiently get from here to here. You know, if you need to move up and down without, just jump into that note. If you're trying to kind of, fluidly get your way up the scale, there's sort of one principle you want to keep in mind. And that is this. I'm just going to do this all on one string. If I'm in this position right here, I can get all these notes right without shifting my hand up and down. So if I want to get a note over here, or up here somewhere, I'm going to have to move my hand a bit. But the general principle you want to follow that can help you out in a lot, that not following this kind of gets your fingers tied up sometimes, kind of getting tongue-tied a little bit. But if you kind of follow this advice, 9 times out of 10, this is going to be very helpful. I'm going to say I have a series of notes that I want to play up this way. And some of them are in position and some of them are out. I'm going to use all my fingers and then start sliding up. But I'm not going to start sliding up and then use my other fingers. So you don't want to slide up with this finger. You want to kind of slide up with a finger more on this side. Opposite of that, if I want to go down, I'm going to use up all my fingers I got there and slide down with my index finger. So sliding up with third or fourth finger. Technically should be fourth finger, but most of the time, more practically, it's often the third finger. But a finger on this side versus going down, you're going to slide with the finger on that side. And that is going to come into play a lot when you're descending, because it's going to change. When you play it backwards, your fingering is going to be slightly different occasionally. You play in the exact same notes going up and down, but which finger you play each note with might change every once in a while. I'll give you an example here. So if we're going up the scale, I'm just going to do it 2 octaves first. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. So notice when I went up, I used up all my fingers and then slid up. Now I'm into the next position of the next scale. So when I'm going to go back down now I slide down. So I've used up all my fingers, now I slide down, and now I'm in the position for the rest of that first pattern. So when I was going up, I'm playing these 2 notes with third finger and pinky. When I'm coming down, I'm playing them with my middle finger and index. So these 2 notes are going to change which finger you're playing on depending if you're ascending or descending. Alright, so this one I'm going to spend a little bit of time just kind of going up and down this scale. Put the beat back on. And this is a thing to really good. Spend a lot of time just following along with this. Back down. Shift. I'll keep doing this for a little bit. say, you still could keep going up past that top. You still have another kind of half of an octave above that. But getting that middle one is really the tricky part, because that's where the B string shift is. So once again, if you have some way to, you can play along with this, and you can even, on YouTube watching it, you can speed it up and slow it down a little bit. But if you have some kind of metronome to play against, you can kind of gradually bring the tempo up and down. And generally, you know, you're trying to get it, first job number one is being able to keep it steady and comfortably and confidently. Then you can kind of start trying to get it faster and faster and faster. If you really want to get fast, I'm not really a speed guy, but you know, the speed guys, basically how they do it is they spend hours and hours, you know, with a metronome, bringing it up and bringing it up and bringing it up. And if you do it gradually, you know, spend a good amount of time at a certain tempo and then bump it up just a little bit, spend a good amount of time there, bump it up just a little bit, spend enough time there. By the time you get to these really fast tempos, they won't seem so fast because you've kind of gradually gotten into it. But if you know, try something at a medium tempo and then automatically bump it up really, really fast, you know, it'll be real sloppy and you won't be able to keep up. And so it's kind of, the more gradually you can bring it up, kind of helps you increase your speed. So anyway, next video is going to be about a different shape of the major scale. There's kind of two main shapes that you're going to end up using a lot, and one is this one where you start out with your middle finger, and the next one we'll do in the next video.